You know, people talk about money, fame, cars, careers, but let me tell you something. There is nothing in this world that compares to the magic of being in love. Real love, the kind that shakes your soul, makes your spirit light, and gives you a reason to wake up every morning, is one of God's greatest gifts to us. Love changes how you see the world, how you treat people, and how you see yourself. When you're really in love, you stop competing with the world and start building a world with someone. Love isn't about the butterflies you get in the first week. It's about the peace you feel when you know somebody has your back, no matter what storm comes your way. Love is one of the most powerful forces that exists in this world. You can have all the money, all the success, all the recognition, but when you experience the magic of being in love, you realize that none of those things can ever give you the same feeling. Being in love transforms you. It changes the way you see the world, the way you treat people, and even the way you see yourself. It's not something that can be bought, forced, or faked. It is a gift, one of the most precious gifts God has given us, and when you really feel it, you know deep in your heart that nothing else compares. When you're in love, you carry yourself differently. The problems of life don't disappear, but somehow they feel lighter. The weight you used to carry doesn't seem so heavy because you're not carrying it alone anymore. There's someone walking with you, supporting you, standing beside you through all of it. That's where the magic begins. Love gives you comfort that no words can describe, peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, and hope that keeps you moving forward. So many people confuse love with excitement. They think it's just the butterflies in your stomach, the late night talks, the passion that comes in the beginning. But love is deeper than that. The real magic is not just about the spark at the start, but about the warmth that lasts. It's about knowing that someone is truly there for you when life is hard, when the excitement fades, and when all you have left is each other. That feeling of safety, that assurance that someone has your back, that's where you see the true power of love. Love makes you better without you even realizing it. A man in love becomes stronger. He finds himself willing to fight battles he never thought he could handle just to protect and provide for the person he loves. A woman in love becomes braver, more resilient, and more hopeful. She carries light even in the darkest seasons because her heart has a reason to keep shining. Together, two people in love are more powerful than they ever could be alone. They push each other to grow, to rise, and to chase dreams that might have felt impossible before. But love isn't just about joy and comfort. It also challenges you. Love has a way of revealing who you really are. It will test your patience, your pride, your ego. It will confront your selfishness and force you to think beyond yourself. And sometimes love will break you down, not to hurt you, but to rebuild you into someone stronger, someone more compassionate, someone more selfless. The magic of being in love is that it doesn't just bring out the best in you, it also shapes the parts of you that need growth. And here's the truth. Nobody is perfect. You will never find someone without flaws. The magic is not in perfection, but in the choice. Choosing to love someone despite their flaws, choosing to stand by them through mistakes, choosing to keep showing up even when it's not easy. That is what makes love so powerful. Every single day you get to decide, and when you decide to keep loving, you are experiencing something divine. Being in love means laughter in the simple moments, comfort in the silence, strength in the storms, and joy in the victories. It means having someone to dream with, to pray with, to grow with. It's a journey where two imperfect people choose each other again and again. That is the true magic of being in love, the kind of magic that makes life worth living. The magic of being in love is not just something you feel, it's something you live every single day. It's in the small gestures, the unspoken moments, and the quiet sacrifices. People think love has to be dramatic, like the movies, with big speeches and grand gestures. But the truth is that the real magic lies in the simple things. It's in the way someone holds your hand when you're nervous, the way they listen, when you've had a long day, or the way they remember the little details about you that you thought nobody noticed. That's love at work. That's the magic people overlook because they're too busy chasing something flashy. Being in love brings a sense of belonging. You can walk through a crowd of strangers, but if the person you love is beside you, it feels like you're at home. That's because love gives you a place where you can be completely yourself. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to perform. You don't have to hide your scars. Love creates a safe space where you can laugh at your quirks, cry over your fears, and still know you are accepted. That kind of acceptance is rare, and when you find it, you hold on tight. Love is also powerful because it brings purpose. Life without love can feel like a constant hustle, a chase for things that don't really satisfy. But when you are in love, suddenly you have a reason for the struggle. The late nights, the hard work, the sacrifices, they all make sense because you're doing it not just for yourself, but for the person you love and for the life you are building together. Love turns ambition into legacy and dreams into shared victories. That's why people who are in love seem to have an extra glow, because they're not just living for themselves anymore. But don't get it twisted. Love is not always easy. It comes with challenges, disagreements, misunderstandings. That's part of the journey. The magic is not in never having problems, but in finding a way to solve them together. When love is real, you don't walk away at the first storm. You learn to weather it. You learn to bend without breaking, to forgive without keeping score, to grow without letting pride stand in the way. That's when love becomes deeper, more mature, more unshakable. One of the most beautiful things about being in love is the way it changes your perspective on life. You begin to see the world through a different lens. You start appreciating little things more because you're not just looking at life with your own eyes, but with the eyes of someone you care about deeply. A sunset becomes more beautiful when you share it. A meal becomes more enjoyable when you laugh together over it. Even the struggles feel less painful when you know someone is holding your hand through them. Love turns ordinary days into extraordinary memories. The magic also lies in growth. Love is not just about finding someone who makes you happy. It's about finding someone who helps you become the best version of yourself. That means love pushes you, challenges you, and stretches you. Sometimes it's uncomfortable because growth always is, but in the end, it's worth it. When you're with the right person, they don't just love who you are now, they love who you can become. They see potential in you that maybe you didn't even see in yourself. That's how powerful love is. It reveals, it inspires, it motivates. And through all of it, love teaches gratitude. When you're truly in love, you stop taking things for granted. You wake up grateful that someone chose you, grateful that you have a partner in this journey of life, grateful for the laughter, the lessons, even the tears. Gratitude becomes part of the relationship, and that's what keeps it alive. Because the more grateful you are, the more you protect what you have. The magic of being in love is that it shows up in places you least expect it. You might think love is only found in romantic gestures or big celebrations, but real love shows up in the everyday grind. It's there when someone makes you coffee before you wake up, when they check to see if you made it home safe, when they encourage you before a big meeting, or when they sit with you in silence just so you won't feel alone. That's love in action. It doesn't always announce itself with fireworks, but it works quietly, faithfully, and consistently. And that's where its true power lies. Love has a way of healing parts of you that you didn't even realize were broken. You may walk through life carrying scars from your past, disappointments, or heartbreaks, and then suddenly love comes in and whispers, "You are safe now." It doesn't erase your past, but it gives you the strength to look forward to your future. That's the kind of magic that no amount of success or money can buy. To feel whole again because someone chooses to love you unconditionally is something beyond measure. It also teaches patience. Nobody can truly be in love without learning patience. Love is not instant, it's a process. Two people with different backgrounds, habits, and ways of thinking come together, and that requires time and understanding. Patience means waiting for your partner to grow in areas where they are weak, just like they wait for you. It means choosing not to give up when things get tough. It's realizing that progress takes time and love is a journey, not a race. That patience is what strengthens the bond and makes the connection unbreakable. Another thing love does is humble you. You might think you're strong, independent, and don't need anyone, but love reminds you that life is better when shared. It shows you that asking for help is not weakness, that leaning on someone else does not make you less. Instead, it makes you human, and it makes the relationship stronger. Love strips away the pride that says, I can do this on my own, and replaces it with the wisdom that says, we can do this together. That humility is powerful because it builds respect and creates balance in the relationship. The magic of being in love also lies in laughter. People underestimate how important joy is in a relationship. You can have all the passion, but without laughter, love becomes heavy. The ability to laugh together, to find humor in the struggles, to share inside jokes that nobody else understands, that's where love creates joy that lasts. Laughter keeps the bond fresh, keeps the heart light, and turns even hard times into something you can smile about later. Love without laughter feels incomplete, but love with laughter feels like magic. Another truth about love is that it requires vulnerability. To truly love someone means to let them see the real you, not just the polished version you show the world. It's about taking down your walls and letting them see your fears, your insecurities, your doubts. That can be scary because it risks rejection. But the magic is when they see all of it and still say, I'm not going anywhere. That kind of acceptance is powerful. Vulnerability creates trust, and trust creates a foundation that nothing can shake. And perhaps one of the greatest things love does is remind you of what truly matters. In a world that constantly tells you to chase more money, more status, more things, love pulls you back to the core of life. It shows you that at the end of the day, it's not about what you have, but who you have. When you're in love, you realize that happiness doesn't come from possessions, but from presence. The presence of someone who walks through life with you, who shares the highs and the lows, who makes even ordinary moments extraordinary just by being there. The magic of being in love is how it makes you believe in possibilities you once thought were impossible. Love has a way of turning doubt into faith and fear into courage. You might not have believed in forever before, but when you're truly in love, forever doesn't sound scary. It sounds like a gift. You start to see that the dreams you had as a child, the ones you thought were out of reach, suddenly feel possible because you're not chasing them alone anymore. That's what love does. It gives you the courage to dream bigger and the strength to keep going when life tries to stop you. Being in love also changes the way you value time. Time becomes more than just hours and minutes. It becomes memories. You start to realize that every moment spent with the person you love is valuable. You don't need expensive vacations or fancy gifts to feel happy. Just sitting together, laughing about nothing, or walking hand in hand can feel priceless. That's the kind of wealth love brings, the kind you can't measure with money. Because the richest people are not the ones with the most in the bank. They're the ones who are surrounded by love. Love also teaches you forgiveness on a level you might not have known before. No relationship can survive without it. When you love someone, you begin to understand that mistakes will happen, words will sometimes be said that hurt, and situations will test your patience. But love reminds you that forgiveness is not weakness. It's strength. It's saying, I care about this connection more than I care about being right. Forgiveness keeps bitterness out of the relationship and replaces it with grace. And that grace is part of the magic that keeps love alive through all seasons. The beauty of love is that it allows two people to grow without growing apart. So many people fear that as they evolve, they'll lose the connection they once had. But real love doesn't hold you back. It grows with you. It allows you to explore new parts of yourself while still being deeply connected to your partner. You cheer each other on, celebrate each other's wins, and pick each other up in losses. That kind of growth together creates a bond that can't be shaken because it's rooted in respect, trust, and shared purpose. Another part of the magic is how love makes ordinary life extraordinary. Think about it. Without love, life can feel like a series of routines. You wake up, you go to work, you handle responsibilities, and you go to bed. But when you're in love, those routines are filled with meaning. Dinner becomes more than just eating food. It becomes a moment of connection. Coming home is no longer just about rest. It's about reunion. Even silence feels different because when you're sitting with someone you love, silence speaks volumes. Love has the power to turn the most ordinary day into something special just because of who you share it with. Love also deepens your faith. Whether you believe in God, in destiny, or in the universe, love makes you realize there's something bigger at play. You can't plan it. You can't force it. You can't predict it. Real love feels divinely timed, like it was written long before you even knew it was coming. And when it arrives, you understand that it was meant to be. That sense of divine connection brings peace and assurance that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And one of the most powerful parts of being in love is the way it teaches you selflessness. Love shifts your focus from me to, it's no longer just about your needs, but about the needs of both of you together. You find joy in giving, in serving, in making sacrifices because you know the relationship is bigger than just you. That selflessness doesn't make you smaller. It makes you greater. It expands your heart, your patience, and your capacity to love beyond what you thought possible. The magic of being in love is how it gives you energy that you didn't even know you had. You can go through the hardest day, face the toughest challenges, and still find strength when you hear that person's voice or see their smile. Love has a way of recharging you like fuel for the soul. It's not just physical energy, it's emotional and spiritual. When you're in love, your heart carries a fire that keeps you moving even when life tries to slow you down. That's why people in love often look younger, laugh more, and carry themselves with a different glow, because love has a healing energy that no medicine can replicate. Another part of love's magic is how it teaches responsibility. When you truly love someone, you start thinking differently about your decisions. You're no longer living only for yourself. You're living for both of you. That changes how you spend your time, how you spend your money, how you plan your future. Love makes you want to be better, not just for you, but for them. It motivates you to work harder, to be wiser, and to carry yourself in a way that protects the relationship. That responsibility isn't heavy, it's a privilege because it comes from a place of love. Love also breaks down fear. Many people walk around guarded, afraid of being hurt, afraid of being vulnerable, afraid of losing. But when love is real, it teaches you to trust again. It tells you it's safe to open up. It's safe to let go of the walls. It's safe to believe. That's not easy, especially if you've been through pain before. But the magic of love is that it doesn't just ask you to risk. It gives you the courage to risk. It gives you the confidence to believe that even if life is unpredictable, love is worth it every single time. And love is a mirror. It reflects who you are and shows you areas where you need to grow. You may think you're patient until love shows you that you still have work to do. You may think you're selfless until love asks you to put someone else first in ways you never have before. You may think you're strong until love requires you to be gentle. Love refines you like fire refines gold. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary because through that process you become a better version of yourself. Love also brings a sense of legacy. When you're in love, you start thinking long term. You want to build something that lasts, something that outlives you. Whether it's a family, a home, or even just memories that will never fade, love pushes you to create a mark on the world that can't be erased. And the beauty of it is that legacy is not about material possessions. It's about the love you gave, the impact you made, and the life you built together. Long after the material things are gone, the love you shared continues to echo in the lives of others. One of the most magical aspects of love is how it makes you feel seen. In a world where so many people feel invisible, love says, I see you, I notice you, I value you. That acknowledgement gives you confidence, self-worth, and security. It reminds you that you matter, that you are special, and that someone treasures you just as you are. That feeling of being seen and understood is one of the deepest human needs, and love is what fulfills it in the most powerful way. Finally, love creates unshakable hope. Life is unpredictable, full of ups and downs, but love makes you believe that no matter what happens, it's going to be okay. That kind of hope is priceless. It's not blind optimism. It's the strength that comes from knowing that even if the road is rough, you're not walking it alone. Hope is love's greatest gift, because with hope you can endure anything, rebuild from anything, and keep moving forward with faith. The magic of being in love is how it makes life worth celebrating, even in the smallest moments. You don't need a special occasion to feel joy, because love turns the ordinary into something extraordinary. Waking up next to the person you love feels like a blessing. Sharing a meal feels like a gift. Even sitting in silence becomes meaningful, because the presence of love fills the space with comfort. When two people are in love, life itself becomes the occasion, and every day is a reason to smile. Love has the power to give you peace in a world full of noise. Every day, we're surrounded by stress, by challenges, by expectations, but love creates a quiet space that feels like home. When you are with the person you love, the noise fades, and suddenly it's just the two of you. That peace cannot be manufactured. It comes from knowing that no matter what the world throws your way, you have someone standing with you. That sense of safety and belonging is one of the greatest forms of magic love brings. The beauty of love is that it makes sacrifice feel natural. Normally, giving up your time, your comfort, or your preferences would feel like a burden. But when you're in love, it feels different. You don't mind staying up late to support them, working harder to provide, or compromising so they can smile, because their happiness becomes your happiness. Love teaches you that sacrifice is not loss, it's investment. Every time you give, you're building something stronger, something deeper, something unbreakable. Love also creates accountability. When you love someone, you think twice before making choices that could hurt them or damage what you've built together. It pushes you to be more disciplined, more responsible, more intentional with your actions. You want to protect the bond you share, so you carry yourself with integrity. Love gives you a reason to rise above temptation, to stay focused, and to choose wisely. That accountability is not about restriction, it's about freedom. The freedom of knowing you've chosen the right path for the right reasons. The magic of love is that it doesn't just change how you see your partner, it changes how you see the world. Suddenly, you're more compassionate, more patient, more forgiving. Not just with them, but with others too. Love softens your heart and expands your perspective. You begin to understand people differently because you've experienced what it means to be accepted despite your flaws. That transformation ripples out into the way you treat family, friends, coworkers, even strangers. Love is not just a private experience. It becomes a force that changes the way you live in the world. Another powerful aspect of love is the way it makes memories. Some of the most meaningful moments in life aren't the ones captured in photos or celebrated with fanfare. They're the small, intimate memories you carry forever. The long talks at night, the shared dreams whispered in the dark, the times you laughed until you cried. Those are the treasures love creates. Years may pass, but those moments stay with you, giving you joy even when you look back. That's the magic of love. It creates memories that outlive the moment. And love, when it's real, gives you a glimpse of eternity. It's the one thing that makes people believe in forever. You can lose jobs, money, possessions, but when you have true love, you feel like you have everything. That's why so many people say love is life's greatest gift, because it doesn't just fill your days, it fills your soul. It makes you grateful for the present and hopeful for the future. It makes you want to hold on, protect it, and nurture it with everything you have.